Hello everyone and welcome to this Dom Labs video, where we are going to be learning how to add power-ups to our car driving game. In the last video, we learned how to create a movement script and we added a follow camera to our car. And if you haven't watched that video, I would recommend you go do that now so you know what we already have. So what we're going to want to do is create the power-ups that we'll interact with. So inside the hierarchy, let's create a 2D object, a sprite, and then a square. Just for right now, I'm going to zoom into the square, and then I'm going to make this the power-up that makes the player go faster. So to do that, I'm going to change the color to blue, just so that I know that this is the power-up that makes the player go faster. And then I'm going to add a tag to it. So to add that, we're going to go to the square, up here at the tag, click Add Tag, click the plus mark here, and I'm going to name this tag Speed Up. And then on this square, I'm going to add the Speed Up tag to it. Then I'm going to duplicate this square and just move it over, and then change this color to red. And this one's going to be the Speed Down. So we're going to have to create another tag. So tag, add tag, click the plus button, and this one's going to be Speed Down. And on this square, we'll add this speed down tag. And then for the names, I'm going to add speed up and then speed down. This is just so that we know which power-up is which power-up. There can be lots of more power-ups that change the turn speed or things like that, but I'm not going to get into that right now, and you'll be able to do that once you've watched this video. Now we have to create prefabs of these just so that we can create multiples. So let's drag them down inside of our assets folder so we can create prefabs. So now you can see they're blue, and right now I'm going to just drag some more of these on. So this speed up will go right here, this speed down, stuff like that. And something we have to do to both of these things, so down in here in the assets folder, let's click on this prefab and then double click on it. You'll get into something looks like this, and then we're gonna have to add a box collider 2D to it. Then we're gonna have to click is trigger just so that we cannot actually collide with it. It's just gonna be triggering when we collide with it. We're gonna have to do the same thing for the speed up. So let's double click on this, add a box collider 2D, and then click is trigger. And then once we have box colliders, we're going to have to add a box collider on our car too. But instead, since it's a capsule, let's do a capsule collider 2D. And we're not going to click is trigger for this because it's going to have to collide with some things, but nothing right now. So let's save this up and go inside of our car controller script. Inside here, you can see that we have this update and this move. And what we're going to want to do is create another method, and this one is going to be called the onTriggerEnter 2D method. And the parameter is going to be a collider 2D and a collision. This is one of Unity's built-in methods, and this is called whenever we enter a trigger. So whenever we trigger with a speed up or a speed down. So what we're going to do is we're going to check if our collision, this thing right here, .gameObject.tag is equal to speed up. If this is true, then we're going to speed up. Else if we're colliding with not a speed up, then we're probably going to collide with a speed down. So let's just check. Else if collision.gameObject.tag is equal to speed down. Make sure you spell your tags the same as you spelled them inside the Unity editor, or else this won't work as intended. But this is just checking if we're colliding with the speed up or if we're colliding with the speed down. Then we're going to create two more methods that speed up or speed down the player. So let's create a private void. We can name this speed up. And then what this is going to do is going to set our speed to higher. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to get a reference to our normal speed. So we're going to do a float normal speed, and we're going to set this to speed, or our move speed. Then we're going to set our move speed plus equal something like 0.005 or something like that. It's going to add this small number to this, and it's going to make our speed much larger. Then we're going to have to wait for a certain amount of time and then change it back to the normal speed. To do that, we're going to have to change the return type. So instead of void, it's going to be an IE numerator. And then down here, we can do a yield return new wait for seconds. And then this depends on how long you want the power up to be on for. So I'm just going to do something like 1 second. Then we're going to set move speed to be equal our normal speed. And then inside the speed up, we'll call this speed up method, but instead of just calling it normally, we're going to have to do a start coroutine, and then we can call it inside of there, speed up. Now what we can do is we can just copy this method and then paste it again and name it speed down, and then instead of adding 0.05, we can subtract 0.05, and then we have something for our speed down. So we're going to do a start coroutine, speed down. You see, so we don't have to rewrite all of this code, we can just use the same method twice, basically. Now, what we're going to want to do is, if I'm speed up already, I don't want to be able to speed up again or speed down. So what I'm going to have to do is up at the top, I'm going to create a private boolean. I'm going to name this can power up. I'm going to set this to be true initially. And then if we power up, I'm going to set can power up to be false. I'm going to do that in both methods, speed up and speed down. Can power up to be false. And then down at the bottom, after we've set our move speed back to our normal speed, I'm going to set can power up to be true. So we can power up after we're done, once we're done speeding up or slowing down. But inside of here, if can power up is false, then we're not going to be able to call this. So if we're speeding up, and then we have to check another thing, so if we can power up, then we will call the start coroutine. And then else, what we're going to do is just return. What return does, it just takes us out of this method so that we have to wait again. We have to wait till our power up is true again to be able to do this. And we're going to have to do this for the speed down too. So we're going to have to do if can power up. Then we're going to drag this speed down inside of here. And then else return. And this just makes it so that we can't get really, really fast or really, really slow by getting more and more power-ups. And in this script, what we're going to do is, once we can power up, we're going to have to destroy the collision.gameObject. And that is because we don't want to be able to collide with it again, and we don't want to be able to use it more than once. We're going to do this for both speed up and speed down. And then what I'm actually just going to do is I'm going to get a little reference up here. This is going to be a public sprite renderer. I'm going to just name this SP or SR for sprite renderer. And then inside the speed up, I'm going to set SR.color is equal to color dot something like blue. And then inside the speed down, I'm going to set SR dot color is equal to color dot red. And at the end of all of this, I'm going to set SR dot color is equal to color dot white. Just so, and then what all of this is doing, I'll do this inside of here. Do SR dot color is equal to color dot white. What this is doing is that whenever we click the speed up, our color is going to be to blue, and when we go to the speed down, it's going to be red, and then when we're back to normal, it's going to be white. So inside the car, I'm going to have to drag this sprite renderer component into the sprite renderer right here, and then we can click the play button to see that our game is working. Once we're inside play mode, you can see here that my character is white. If I go to this blue, I have a higher speed, and now it's back to white again. I have a higher speed, and now it's back to white again. Now I have a low speed, and it's back to white again. You can see here that this is working just the way that I'd like it to, because now we have power-ups to make our player go faster and slower. With that, this is the end of this tutorial. If you liked it, please give our channel a like and a subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video in this series on how to build a 2D driving game inside of Unity.